is working. Mic check, mic check. Driver's meeting's still going on. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are tuning in, which I don't think you are, this was very last second, but if you somehow are, welcome aboard. We are back for some more North American Racing Series coverage tonight for the next round of the chase for the NARS Cup. Tonight at the biggest, baddest racetrack in the country, Talladega Superspeedway. And oh boy, howdy do we have a show for you tonight. We got 14 cars lined up on the grid. Drivers' meeting is still underway. They're wrapping that up right now. We should be getting the green flag in just a few minutes. Everyone come on in. I'll send the link to the Discord. I'm going to try to. Got my hands full right now. I got my dinner on the left side. I got my computer on the right. And I'm trying not to get my keyboard dirty. I got the TV in front of me with the PlayStation generating a crap ton of heat, as it always does. It looks like Reinov, our most recent winner, we'll dive into that shortly. He is going to be on the pole in that number 34, Love's Travel Stop Ford. And then Jacob, our Bristol winner a couple weeks ago, on the front row. See if I can get this working. Was it? Yeah, it's this one. Got some banter going on in the North American Discord general chat about who drinks beer, who doesn't. There's all that's going on during the drivers' meeting, which I don't know how that shows you who's paying attention, who's not, but yeah, nonetheless, see if anyone joins the stream. I sent it over. But yeah, again, Reinov and Jacob is your front row. That'll lead to green for Talladega Superspeedway. Jet Blast in car number 1, row 2 inside. He'll be third. Fourth, this is a newcomer. Making his debut, number 15, Typhoid's Fever. That is a sick-ass name. He's in the Rick Ware number 15 car. We'll be starting outside of row number 2. He's going to be surrounded by some pretty stiff competition at the front. Let's see how he's able to handle it. And assumingly this is his first start. I could be wrong. Get some... And there he is, ladies and gentlemen!
Hello!
Hi! You saved my
Did
ass.
we forget about the race tonight? Yes. Are we still here? Yes. And by we, I mean me, dude.
Yeah, they're doing the drivers' meeting right now. Thankfully, the clock is now ticking down to about 13 seconds. Let me turn that down.
I still can't believe it. I'm like, oh no!
Yeah, I got the stream started over on the Phantom channel, but if you want, if you're able to...
Nah, keep it here. They're going green.
Okay.
I don't want to deal with it.
Okay, we're going green. I gotta get in the damn lobby. Well, since you're here, you can lead them to green. I gotta step out of the booth for a quick minute.
Oh, fantastic. Oh, yep. We were having a couple of drinks, and we forgot what time it was. Luckily, we are here. We can get all y'all to green here at Talladega. Can't wait to see what happens here. Hopefully these guys are a little bit adventurous. I know they talked about in the drivers' meeting that they wanted to break out of that single file stuff and run a little bit more double file, kind of like what we saw at Daytona to kick off the season. You saw them do that two-line racing, and hopefully they can keep it going. Reinov on the pole. Already got one win this season, his first in the NARS Cup Series, and now he leads him to green. Talladega is underway. And Reinov gonna lead him down into turn one with that one a jet blast, pushing hard on the inside, and behind him the 5 of Amar. And now Jacob on that outside line. You can really tell the difference, though, between the drivers on controller and those on the wheel, with how steady they are in these long, high banking corners. The one looking to make a move goes up to the outside. The numbers are there, but John Waterforce gets squirrely on the top, and he is out of line. Luckily, though, those up at the top allow him back in, and we can keep that top line going. Oh, the 77 of Jacob looks to dive to the bottom. This could be trying to get back in front of those guys on the inside. Oh, jeez and crow. They touch the double yellow. That's what you don't want to do here at Talladega. That double yellow line will shoot you all the way up into that second groove and potentially cause the big one, as it is, excuse me, pretty jarring as the field finally caught back up to Reinov. And here goes the 5. Amar to the outside, trying to use that momentum. He got out of turn 2. Oh, jet blast, squirrely. Touching the double yellow. Oh, loose out of turn 4 they go. Side by side for the lead we just were. Reinov clears the 5 of Amar, and here comes Nascarillo through to second with Jacob. And no, that was just cars getting squirrely. I think we might have a yellow. Yes, a yellow flag. Manual caution is out. Interesting development. I don't...
I just saw the 34 lag a little bit. Yeah, let's do that.
All right, due to some server lag. So they threw the yellow to try and figure that out. And it looks like it was the 34 of Reinov that they caught being a little glitchy. And on a drafting track like this, that could spell disaster. And so the 34 of Reinov drops to the back, where he'll have to figure his connection out or something.
Uh-oh.
But yeah, the 34 caught lagging, so they threw the yellow so he could safely make it to the back. And now that allows these guys to go in there and fix up their cars, because these guys are looser than anything. Nobody can hold the line on this track.
It's difficult. Everyone's so tightly packed together for a super speedway race like this. It's actually harder than it looks to hold a line unless you're on a wheel. Like some of us controller drivers have a hard time holding a steady thumb, so I think it's even more difficult to hold a line here at Daytona than anywhere else, as we got our early set of pit stops. But that's unfortunate for our pole sitter and our most recent winner finally breaking through Dover last week. And I know he's had that issue at Martinsville like a month ago, so hopefully for him it doesn't persist. I mean, it's happened to a couple of guys this season. I think it was John Waterforce or someone at Bristol had it for like maybe a couple of laps, and it eventually smoothened out, and they were able to continue on and get a steady finish. And looks like everyone is out of the pits now. Oh,
yeah,
we got one who went the wrong way, crashed it under the pace lap, the 21 Rage to
Oh
overcome.
no! He pulled a Scotty Mac in the Indy race. Rage to overcome.
Just goosed the
He's
tires a
gonna.
little too hard.
Yep, pulled a Scotty Mac at the Indy 500, crashed it under the pace laps. Only he's going to be able to keep going.
Well, now we got a chance to catch our breath. We can go through the field and see who do we have. And I
Well,
can ask you,
Nascarillo lost a lot of spots on pit road. He came down first.
and I wonder if that's a mix on strategy, because tires not really a factor at Talladega. You think maybe some guys at the front take right sides or just fuel only, and Rillo might have went something a little more conservative on his approach, and that might have cost him a couple of spots. And it's common at Dega for guys to take fuel only. Usually tires here are like rocks. They can last a very long time here.
Oh, I'm just happy I didn't miss the damn race, dude. Yeah, you missed a good couple of laps, dude. Leads were changing everywhere. Except for Ryan, or position battles everywhere. Reinhoff was doing good to hold the field off. I mean,
So who
he
should
had
we,
a
who should
pretty
we keep
good
an eye on?
second lead.
Hmm.
Well, obviously Nascarillo. Nascarillo will always find a way in that 99 to get to the front. You got the one also right in the back there, Jet Blast. He is your regular season points leader, and he's riding out for there in the back after doing the 4 tires. And you always have to watch out for the 77 up at the front, who's going to lead him to green this time. With the 17 of John Waterforce to his outside. Oh, contact into one. Oh, and there goes the outside.
Very sketchy conditions these drivers are dealing with here at Talladega. Takes a while, takes a whole lap and a half to get these cars fully up to speed, get the engines warmed up.
Oh, the 45. Oh.
That's Daytona.
I don't know what. I thought he was going to go around for a second.
The driver named after the other super speedway on the schedule. Able to run something a little similar to that. So he's tucked in line here. And riding in second place, and I'm trying to fact check this, is our newcomer making his series debut, the number 15 of Typhoid's Fever, in second place.
Ah, yes, he is new.
And I wonder, for some of the seasoned vets in this series, do they kind of perk their eyebrows up a little bit racing around the 15 because he's a new guy? They're not too familiar with his tendencies on the track.
Well,
So
what he's got going for him.
learn.
Yeah, and what he's got going for him is that everybody's single file. He doesn't have to bounce around lanes, so they can see how he holds his line through these corners. If he's bouncing off that double yellow line, or if he can actually hold it on the bottom. Which he's doing pretty well. He's not dancing around, which is good. And Jacob's loving it, too, because he doesn't have some guy bouncing around behind him.
Making a very good first impression.
Oh, as soon as I say it. But I think that was because of the 9. The 9 came in there of Slick and Nick and got all over the back. I think it got him loose and forced him below that double yellow in the corner. But luckily, oh, and the 9 going up. Slick Nick making a move to the outside. That's going to slow down the inside line just a little bit. Here comes Nascarillo in the 99 up to third now as Slick Nick will drop on the top. Actually, that top line's starting to form up a little bit. They got a good gaggle of cars up there now. And of course, here at Talladega, gotta hold your line, which luckily the top side's doing, but it's just not the amount of cars you need. You need at least one or two more to really get that momentum. They're doing well. You gotta think this is all guys on the wheel up at the top, but they're just missing one more car up there, and they'd be able to really cruise it up. Daytona up there too. Well, see, look how steady they are. This is way different than how they were at the beginning of this one. Which will serve them good. And they do have one of the fastest cars in the field leading that line. Exactly how it should be done. They are coming up. They're up to fourth. At least Jet Blast has moved himself nose to nose with that fourth place car of the 14. That is D'Artagnan. But the corners is where they get bit. Oh, Amar! Oh, and there go. Oh, and Slick Nick tries to go up to the top. Not able to. Back down to the bottom. The bottom breaking up, though, but still that core four, excuse me, up at the top is still going.
The 5 and the 34 couldn't settle on who was going to get in line first. That might cost them the draft.
I was going to say, were you muted?
No, I was away from the mic.
Oh, okay. I was like, man, dude, he got quiet. And now that outside line, getting that one more they need. Oh, but Jet Blast is like, nope, I'm not playing the follower. And the 48 and the 19 agree with him. You want the fastest car leading that train. And Jet Blast has been shown all season long that he has that top 5 speed. And the guy you want to have lead that outside line, John Waterforce, got shuffled.
All the momentum in the world is going to go to the 20 of CCR. Aussie Rules was trying to help him out. He was trying to decide who did he want to go with. He saw that opening on the bottom. And another one created by the 21 of Rage to Overcome. CCR going to make that pass. He's going to bring Zach with him. Like running through the jungle. CCR is right now up into the top 5 early on.
Yeah, and that is a good description for this track. This track is a jungle. Because it could all come crashing down like a rainforest thunderstorm pretty damn quick. Because now we're pretty well settled on the bottom now. Nobody really trying the outside. Everybody willing to ride around here. As your race leader, Jacob, still continues to pace the field with 18 laps to go here in stage 1.
They were riding, but the 48 nearly fell out of the saddle. And the 20 way out of control. Getting a 4-wheel drift down the straightaway. He's able to cling back onto the draft on the bottom lane with the 14 right in his windshield. Weren't enough cars on the outside to pass him, but the 19's going to give him the boot into 3. He's going to make way for those cars on the inside, starting with the 17, then the 9, the 1, the 21. Going to drop all the way to the back of the line with Zach and the 48 Ally car also at the back of this line. Needs to be hard on the loud pedal, though, because there's a big gap between him and the 48. The one thing you don't want to do here, especially in the final stage, is lose the draft.
Well, you already got 2 that are out of it, and that is Reinov and the 5, of Amar. Those 2 are out of the draft, and that is bad luck for the 48 and the 20, because they were both mid-pack, but because of their little skirmish on the back straightaway, they both got shot out of line. And everybody just went right around them, so now they have to work their way all the way back up through the field.
But the good news is, with everyone being single file, everyone is doing a bunch of checking up for each other. They can afford to keep their foots down on the throttle, and they can be able to close that gap back in, and that's what the 48 has managed to do. And with this being the first stage, we're still very early on to this race. These drivers are getting a feel for how strong the draft is at certain points in the pack. We saw the 45 a lap ago of Daytona try to make a run on the straightaway. Was able to temporarily make a pass on 2 cars before he stalled back out. And the 21 did about the same, as he's now behind. the 45 Jordan car. And we're going to see a little bit of that. The 9 car nearly peaks out of line. The 19 got himself in a bit of an uncomfortable spot. Now he sees himself washed out of shore as he's going to get overtaken by this line of cars on the bottom. It's all about painting that yellow line. Those left side tires are like a paintbrush. Smooth and steady is the name of the game here.
Yeah, Jacob has been doing well to just hold his line. That 15 car, that new kid, Typhoid's Fever, has really done well to just hold his position. He's got a lot of good cars behind him that have been swapping positions. Nascarillo is now your sole third-place driver. The 14 of D'Artagnan having his best run I've seen in a minute, running inside the top 5. John Waterforce has worked his way back up there in the number 17. Only can do so much with everybody on the bottom. You really just have to catch someone slipping up. But the problem with this league is that these drivers are so good that they very rarely do.
I got my eye on that 17 car, John Waterforce. Me and him actually worked together over in the Mystic Racing League on iRacing. We ran at Talladega in a 26 truck field. And we made a call on a pit stop that got John out in front. And with a perfectly timed yellow, he was able to stay ahead of the entire pack and go on to win the race. And that was his first win in that league. So I imagine that 17 car gets to the front, he's going to be very difficult to pass.
Yeah, especially when you're going out and practicing. But the day before, what day is it on?
What's on?
Your Mystic League.
Oh yeah, that for our truck race, we ran that on a Wednesday, but that was like I want to say that was a couple of months ago when we ran Dega.
Oh, never mind then.
I'm just saying, I'm using that as an example because we ran Dega that week, and that's when he got his first win. Now, granted, iRacing in NASCAR heat, draft physics, Talladega style racing, not really the most comparable, but I feel like, you know, got to find the positives where you can. I think that might help with a little bit of confidence for this 17 camp.
Yeah, we saw at Daytona at the start of this season that he came out stronger than ever. Came out and got a really good finish that day, so he'll probably be looking to replicate that here at Talladega. A lot more room to make a move and a lot more room to get out of the way of people when somebody does make a mistake and work your way around them. Unfortunately, in these corners, though, that is pretty tricky to do, as everybody's right in the danger zone on the bottom, so if somebody hits the double yellow line, you will get got.
We got 12 laps to go in this stage. Jacob, the leader. He's the only onboard that I have access to right now. He's got 4 laps of fuel in the tank, which is probably less than all of the cars behind him because he is out front. He is saving the least amount of fuel. As a result, now, I don't know if the leader, speaking of pit stops, we got some of them underway. The 17, the 9, 21, a couple others, the 19, 45. Our first.
Ooh, and I'm interested to watch this 17.
Tough break for the 20 car. He actually lost the draft and pitted on a lone island as he's going to exit the pits on the apron a lap down, and he's probably going to be fighting to stay on the lead lap here if he's going to be running all by himself for the rest of this stage. So we keep an eye on the 20, see if he's able to hold on. Now, talking about the 17, you were right to call that out. Really good pit stop for that RFK crew to get him out in front of this group. And comfortably so, but he's a sitting duck right now because the cars behind him, the 48, the 21, 19, are all going to group up relatively quickly to run that 17 down. Now, once they do that, are they going to push him, or are they going to gang up on him and shuffle him to the back of the line? That's what we're going to find out now as we merge out. Here comes the 48 of Zach. He's going to help him.
And let's look at, and I was more worried about that 17 because I saw him and the 9 make contact coming onto pit road. And anytime I've seen that, that usually leads to a speeding penalty. because one car ends up not being able to slow down in time. But no, John Waterforce made out in spades, and the 9 of Slick Nick must have taken 4 along with the 5 and the 34.
And I just
Which I'm listening into the driver chat too, going on to this pack that they're about to catch up right now. Not everybody was on the same page here, but it looks like everybody went on the same strategy inside the top 5. Because there was some drivers that wanted to take tires, and I think it got outvoted by people who just wanted to do fuel only.
Here comes the 17, but he peeks out of line, the 48. Thought better of it. Looked like he was going to try to make the pass himself, but here comes the momentum from that group that pitted a lap prior. Jacob, Rillo, crap, I still don't know his name yet. The 15 car. Typhoid's Fever. Amongst the top 3 out of that group, Jacob took only 1 can of fuel on that stop.
Look at this run. The 77 has to come up to block. Waterforce tries to make it move.
Oh, God.
Oh, late block. And the 77 now loses the lead because of it to Nascarillo. So the 99 back up at the front here with the stage and the waning laps.
And that's that risk versus reward. With the 77, all he's really known is being in control of the race. He wanted to be out front. He thought he saw the momentum from the outside, but it's so difficult to capitalize on that. You already have control of one lane. To swap that one lane for another is really difficult to do without stalling that other lane out completely, and he's paid the price for it.
Yeah, by dropping all the way to the tail end of this lead line. And John Waterforce is by. He's back inside the top 5, but if you're in that 17, you are probably fuming. You had yourself on pace to get the lead and potentially have a shot at a stage win. And now you have to settle for what could be a 5th place finish, as Nascarillo has now taken control of this one with, guess who? Typhoid's Fever running in the 2nd spot.
And the good news for John, it didn't hurt him as hard as it did the 77, so if I'm him, I would kind of take a little bit of solace in that and think, you know, as much as I didn't like that move, it could have been a lot worse, because he was able to stay in the top 5, or at least get back into the top 5 relatively quickly. So he's still got a shot at the stage winner, at least getting a few more points as the laps wind down. The 77 of Jacob, who was in control of this race for the most part, has got a bit of a deeper hole to dig out of. He wants to be able to get all those precious points. 17, though, got the 45 shuffled out. Daytona. Wishing he was in Daytona right now, but he's in Talladega. He's going to lose that spot to the 17 and a few others. That's going to drop him to the caboose of the train. John Waterforce now up into 4th place, closing on Jet Blast. But all eyes are at the front, mainly. Nascarillo and Typhoid's Fever. Another chance for the newcomer to make a very big first impression. He has been in the top 3 for nearly the whole race. Qualified really good. Maybe coming in as a more of a super speedway ace. He's looked like he's been able to play that part pretty well. And look at the separation he is building up between him and the 1 car, Jet Blast, or maybe the Jet Blast machine, probably hanging back, building up a run. That's exactly the case. Here he comes with the 17. We got some classic tandem drafting here at the front of the pack. Here comes the 1 and the 99. It's a Trackhouse takeover at the front row.
It is, and now John Waterforce sees yet again he has a shot to get himself up a couple of positions. He's up there. You got the 21 who's been up and down today.
They got some help.
And Rage to Overcome. It's 4v4. This could last a minute. And it is. They're still dead neck even. It's all about who can hold their line the better, and the inside line was able to do it through 1 and 2 just better than that outside line could. And the momentum dead even. Nobody's gaining an inch on either one. So Nascarillo has taken that lead back over again. And it looks like the one's chance is fading fast. Not, oh no, and now 17's under him. He's going to let the 17 through. And it looks like everybody's going to escape out to the bottom and try it again. So you know now that you can get there. It's all about timing and having the right amount of cars, and we are at 4 laps to go, so strategies will begin to be made in order to see who can get this stage win.
About timing and also maybe a little bit of distance. Maybe Jet Blast didn't back up enough. And now he's going to try to make a move by himself, since he was the one that got shuffled out. Gets ahead of the 19. 19 sees the momentum that he has. He's going to try to help him out. But it's just getting that extra inch of momentum that you have to build up, because it's one thing to be able to get door to door with the leader, but you got to have enough speed to be able to pass him and clear him, because you're not going to be able to stay as the leader on the outside. The outside just, doesn't matter how many cars you get up there, there's just not a whole lot of speed to be able to capitalize.
Watch 77.
We're watching.
Let's say, oh, I thought he was back. He was backing up. There was like a car length between him and the 15. I'm like, oh boy, here we go.
Yeah, Jet Blast had to back off a lot to be able to make that move. Jacob needs to do a little bit more. He needs to radio up with the 45 and the 17 to let him know what the plan is. But it's not even just that. They might have their own agendas they might want to go with.
Whoa!
And Typhoid Fever?
He's gone!
He's out!
Oh no! And that is correct. And then we're not just seeing that through the race stream. No, he is out.
Making a strong presence in his series debut, out early with an engine trouble, and Nascarillo temporarily lost his wingman. They're 3 wide for second place temporarily. Jacob in the 77 now up to the batter's plate. Daytona in the 45 also peaking a little bit on the inside. 17, 21, 19, the 3 cars on the outside. And nothing to show for it as they're going to have to get back in line. Jacob's tire light is on. It's down to the cords on that right rear.
And we got 1 lap to go. White flag is out. Does anybody have anything for this 99?
Might.
Look at him go crazy in the back. Jet Blast on the way through.
He needs
with
help.
The 19 of Aussie rules.
He needs to get linked up with the 19. The 45 needs to get back up there with him, but they're going to stall out. I don't think this run's going to pay off. So now it's up to the 77 to do something.
It is, and he's running out of time, and he doesn't have the room. And the 20 CCR will stay on the lead lap. Here comes the 45, so the 77's help is gone, and that will clinch it for the 99 Arillo. And the 77 just edges out the 17 for second. So Rillo, your stage 1 winner, while Jacob gets second. John Waterforce third. Rage to Overcome fourth. Jet Blast rounding out your top 5 in the 1. And we'll see once we get the full rundown. We'll give you the full top 10 of all the drivers in this stage that are getting the stage points, which is going to take a bloody second. Ballistic Nick rounding out your top 10.
Something to keep an eye on is the tire wear is actually got a little more demand than I expected. I thought these tires would be holding up a little more because they usually jack up the tire pressures because handling doesn't really matter a whole lot, so they just focus more on tire durability. I'm looking at Jacob, and under the green flag stop, he didn't take tires, and I imagine a lot of other people didn't either. his right rear was down to about 12% or 13%. And with the time of that caution, if we get a full green flag stage, they're going to be pitting at a different point in the stage as we're heading back to green here with Slick Nick and the 9 in control. But if they have to split the stage halfway, I don't think fuel only is going to be the call anymore.
Yeah, and does have... Now, I know that when they do the restricted play tracks, they like to, turn the draft just from easy to normal. Does having a higher draft effect affect tire wear?
It might, because they're going faster. It also could be how erratic they might be driving, trying to hold a line. The left sides could be wearing out by how much they're dragging them across the apron. But I don't think it's too much of a difference. I don't think it's enough to really worry about, but again, I just thought that was interesting because I thought more people would be taking fuel only, but I think with the amount of fuel that these cars are having to put in, I think it's worth putting the right side tires in the meantime, because the times for the stops are going to be about the same in that regard as well. The 9
where
car
is
way
Slick Nick going?
to the back.
I was going to say, I don't know if he just lost it or if he just let everybody go by, but yeah, that didn't look like just getting squirrely. That just looked like he just went to the top. So that's an interesting one by the 9, but that just means that the 99 is back up at the front. Aussie Rules has moved that 19 up to second position now. Jet Blast still trying like a demon to get that outside line running.
The 9
and
car making a pit stop.
Oh, he must not have pitted under the yellow. And so he just wanted to go out there, lead a lap, and then bring it in. Oh, my little orange producer is here to bug me.
While that's going on, I gotta step out one more time. But I will be back in fully committed for the rest of the race, so...
Oh, fantastic.
Passing the baton on to you.
Fantastic. Nascarillo continuing to pace the field with Ozzy in second, Reinov third, Zach in sixth, fourth, and the 21 of Rage to Overcome. Rounding out your top 5, Jacob just sitting on there in sixth with John Waterforce and Amar behind him. Then it's D'Artagnan, Daytona, CCR, and Jet Blast rounding out this lead pack. The 21 of Rage to Overcome, and Amar trying to see if the outside has any takers. John Waterforce always more than happy to try and see. However, sees that run is well done and not gonna make any kind of splash. Oh, Daytona got trapped to the outside, and the 21 got trapped behind him. And the 1 is through. The 21 of Rage to Overcome going to try and sneak to the inside of the 45, and he will do just that. So 1 car already out of the race in the 15 of Typhoid's Fever. Meanwhile now Nascarillo running rings around Talladega, and he's got the 9 of Slick Nick just ahead of him. It's looking like Reinov has his issues figured out, because he is steadily running up into the third position and nobody's saying a word about it. So it looks like Reinov's little internet issues have worked themselves out. Now we have some impending trouble in front of these leaders with that 9. About to get got by this lead pack, and we'll see what that does to stir these guys up. As always, lap traffic at Talladega means hold your breath, and here we go. They have caught him. They're going to jump. They caught him in the best spot, too. And they're going to get him through the trial. Well, CCR actually going to stick down with him. And now, here we go. The field did not clear him!
Yeah, that's 9. The 9 car played that perfectly. He knows he's going to be the first car lap down, so you're not going to be able to hitch onto the draft from the last car, so you might as well disrupt it. That's going to piss some people off, but for your own benefit. It's worth trying.
Yeah, and now the field just a little bit more jostled. John Waterforce and Amar dropping to the inside, Whalen in the back, and now Slick Dick Nick will jump to the outside. And the 48's like, hey, maybe we can make a run at this. And Slick Dick's like, no. I just wanted to go to the back of the line. If you'd care to join me, that'd be cool too. But no, now it's a full-fledged line. John Waterforce, Amar, enraged to overcome on the outside. But it is to no avail as the 48 really squeezing up in front of the 9. Here goes Jet Blast up at the front with the 77 of Jacob. Two of the fastest cars in the field. Going tandem on the outside with Daytona running in behind them. And the 48 starting to close that gap too with the 5 and the 9. So that'll be a 6-car tandem they have on the outside. That might be enough for this outside line to be competitive. Jet Blast sees the run. Oh, and now Aussie Rules sees it. He's going to jump to the outside too, but that also brings Reinov into the fold. And that is your pole sitter. So he has that Talladega speed in the 34, and that could help that inside line. But the numbers that are down there,
they might have.
Oh, John Waterforce actually jumped down with a 21, so that'll help the inside line. But look at Aussie to the lead. He doesn't have him cleared yet. They are side by side in through turn 3. The inside line with the momentum, as always, it is the preferred line on this track, but the momentum goes to the outside and top down. The 19 really cruising it on the exit, but they do level out going through the tri-oval. Now, he's got him by the bumper, and now he's to the door. The 99 Arillo, this is probably the closest fight we've seen all day, and that outside line is really holding itself together. These are some of the best drivers.
That 19, just not enough to clear the 99. The spotter didn't give him the good to go. The 45, a little fishtail through the middle of 3 and 4. That's going to be trouble for him. And that's going to be bad news for the top 3 cars on the outside lane. The momentum's going to swing back to the bottom. That's good news for Rillo, for Reinov, for CCR. Get up around the bend. That 20 car going to move up into 3rd place if this outside sinks.
Well, look at this, though. Amar and Waterforce making a comeback. They're getting back in with this line on the outside. And Zach in 6th, and that 48 way in the back here is also really cruising in. He's going to reconnect with that outside line, and it looks like Aussie Rules has cleared for the lead. And not only him, but Jet Blast, the 1. Now not anymore as the 99 sneaks back to the inside. But Aussie Rules is clear to the lead on the outside. The first time today, an outside pass for the lead has been successful. It only took 6-7 cars, but they did it.
And that's not just good news for Aussie Rules. That's good news for everyone in the field. That's good news for guys that are thinking of trying that later. And that's good news for everyone watching. That's good news for us in the booth, because now we know the outside's going to work, which means the racing's going to get pretty damn good later on.
Yep, we're getting that little Talladega fun. And these guys are loving it, too. You see how many cars are still up on the outside. I mean, these top 3, 4 could have already dropped to the bottom, but no, they're going to keep that outside line going and lean it up against that white dotted line between that 1st and 2nd lane. Yeah, they've almost fully cleared the inside. That's Carrillo's even jumping up to the top. What is going on at Dega? And here we go. Now Aussie Rules is going to steadily bring it down.
Rillo forcing his way through past the 48. washes him completely out of the groove. The 21 car goes below the double yellow line. I think Rillo trying desperately to stop the bleeding. Otherwise, he was going to drop all the way outside of the top 10 if he did. And I think that's what these guys were trying to do. That's why they weren't so quick to drop back down to the bottom lane. The bottom guys on the inside, you give them an inch, they're going to take a mile because they know that's the faster way around here. But now the inside belongs to them.
And we are coming close to green flag stops here. Only 6 laps of fuel left in this run. That's a maximum. So we'll see when these drivers decide to come down and make that first stop of the stage. And it should be here probably within the next, I want to say, 2-3 laps.
Now looking on board with the 34, Love's Travel Stop Mustang of Reinov getting a big shot to the bumper of D'Artagnan. D'Artagnan's been having a really good run today in that 14 Mahindra Tractors Ford Mustang, but that car is not driving anything like a tractor. That thing is, oh, the 34! Thought it was more dramatic than what it actually was. He just got out of line there, but he'll have the 45 helping him out. Or maybe he doesn't help him out. He's going to put him 3 wide, actually. That might have screwed them both over. Just look at the momentum, the 48. Oh, there's a big stack up in the middle of the line. Somebody lagged in the middle of this pack.
God, we stay straight.
That might have been from the 17th. I don't know. He was the first car of that second group. That's bad news for everybody in that line except for the top 4 that were ahead of it. And the caution is out.
That was crazy. Is that a caution or? Yeah. Okay, yellow's out then. Now or?
As we listen in on the race director's chat, they're agreeing that that is going to be a caution.
Yes.
Good news for the 9. So,
Now they're
yeah,
going over what the heck just happened. I have no idea.
I think I was right in predicting that was the 17. So he's going to drop down to the apron. Let all these
Holy
guys go.
shoot, dude. We got cars that are about to run out of gas here. Holy.
I wonder if the 17 might be one of them. He looks a lot slower than the rest. And Jacob, the 77, he is 4 to the good.
We got cars that are saying they are out.
But that's the unique thing with Talladega. Everyone's running about the same speed. Everyone's going the same distance around this facility like everyone else. But everyone's mileage is varying. They say mileage may vary. It's varying a lot amongst the whole pack right now. If that's really the case, some guys were really cutting it close on fuel. Some of them running out completely under the yellow. Some of them had more than enough to go for another 3 or 4 laps, for crying out loud. So get the order reshuffled under this pit stop. It'll be car number 1 be taking over P1 for the time being. Jet Blast was the first one out with the 19 behind him. And the 9 will get the lucky dog.
Sorry, my orange-haired producer is bugging the crap out of me. It's currently stolen
They're-
my chair, so
they're-
I do
if-
not have my chair anymore.
If they're trying to tell us to go to commercial, we're not doing that. We're not Fox. We don't do commercials here on YouTube.
Yeah. And look at this, Jet Blast and Amar are gonna be your top two. Interesting.
Usually you pay for this kind of premium coverage. Y'all should be thankful. But yeah, no, Amar
Dude,
was...
okay, so
Amar was
minor
in the,
minor
Sorry, go ahead. I keep...
so
talking
minor
over you.
thing, dude. Amazon Prime was fire.
Oh my god, I loved it.
Oh, dude, that brought back NASCAR race day vibes, and like the post race was sick too. Even though on the fucking replay they didn't show it. As soon as they waved the checkered flag, there was like another minute, and then it ended. I'm like, that's cool.
Well, they did re-upload the post-race show after a lot of people on Twitter like were begging for it because the post-race show was baller. They're like,
yeah,
y'all want
okay, cool. So I gotta go watch that.
Yeah, it's on a separate tab, but it is there now. Trust me, I had the same
Okay.
reaction. I was like, because I wanted to rewatch because the guy in the one car ended up winning the race, and that happens to be my favorite driver, so of course I had to go
Yeah, baby.
watch that. Speaking of the one car, leading him to green.
And yes, the one of Jet Blast, not Chastain, in the Advent Health Chevy, leads him to green with a 19 of Aussie Rules. Back inside the top three. Not only that, running in the second position, so isn't that 77 of Jacob has now made his way back into the top three. And once again, Nascarillo has to work his way from the outside, from the outskirts of the top five to try and work that 99 back to the lead. He's had to do it twice already today. What is wrong with the third time?
I don't know, but on that restart, not only did the outside lane not go, but it dissolved in a heartbeat. But they're trying to breathe it some new life. At least the 21 was trying to for a brief moment. But I do want to go back to Amar, this number 5 car. He was actually the first car ahead of the 17 when the lag lightning strike struck the track in half the field, and he was the first car he was the last car to escape it. He was in 4th place as the caution waved. Didn't have the best restart on the outside, as like I said, that line completely disintegrated on the spot, but he was able to pick up the scraps and get back in line, and he is running in the top 5 now.
And the 17 now well off the back of this lead pack. He is way gone.
That's
Along with the
close.
9 of Slickneck.
And he is completely
He's
been checked
miles
out.
away. I'm pretty sure he's got to change the zip codes on his, so that way his packages can get delivered to where he is. But Aussie Rule is still trying to just hold on to that second position. Ooh! Uh-oh, that looked like a little bit of lag surge right there, maybe. Or the 19. No, the 19 just got caught on the bottom, caught the apron, and had to shuffle back a little
Oh, I don't
bit.
know.
Oh, the 1!
I don't know. I was looking at Aussie Rules is on board. That did look like a little bit of a lag. It was a bit of a minor one, but even the small ones can have a major impact on the entire field. Now we're going to be
And look what it's doing with the 5!
Move him to the front of the second line. Jet Blast in the 1 gets shuffled out entirely. Aussie Rules
So
to the lead.
So the 17 and the 1 both having connection issues. And that has opened its doors to the 19 being able to lead his first laps of the day. But he's got a bunch of other guys who have also led laps that maybe want to again. Except for the 77. I think the 77 kind of likes where he is. Because as we saw under that last yellow, that the 77 had 4 laps to the good, while other drivers were dying before they even got to pit road.
The good news now, I think with the timing of that caution, I think fuel is going to be thrown out the window So I think they got enough laps to make it.
Yep,
race
they
leader,
got
Ozzy
6
Rule's
laps to
probably
the
only
good.
one. Oh yeah, never mind.
6 laps to the good is the 77.
Even our leader is good to go, and he's burning the most fuel by leading this line. So, yeah, we're good to go.
I was going to say, the good news is for Ozzy is that he wasn't leading the line this whole time. It was that one car, so he's probably like a lap or two off, which is still 4 to the good, at the very least.
Zach tried to do something for a little bit there. I saw him make a maneuver when that lag spike happened at the front. It gained him a little bit of life as he has moved up a couple of spots in line to 21 now. The outlier amongst this entire pack. I'm looking on board the 14. D'Artagnan and Daytona got a bit of a gap on the 48. Do they try to make a move here, or are they just going to play it a little more patient? Or maybe D'Artagnan's getting himself a little bit of breathing room. He's seeing these constant lightning strikes of lag that have been hitting the racing surface tonight. He doesn't want to be in the blast radius, so I think he might be playing it smart right now. Not getting completely wedged up. As I say that, he's closing down the 48. Maybe the 48 has a similar idea. He's backing it up even more. He's saying the 14, he's radioing up to him now, hey, come push me, I'm going to make a run here. To the 20. He's going to make the run, but the 14 just wasn't close enough to him. I think the 48 might have timed that a little too early, and he's going to get betrayed. The 14, D'Artagnan's going to shuffle him out. They were not on the same page. And move the 14 car up into the top 5.
Jet Blast, though, looking to disrupt some things here.
CCR
as
also
the 48,
moves out.
Yeah, and the 48 has caught up with the 5 of Amar and the 21. They were looking to make a move on the outside, but unfortunately, everybody who was up on the outside now isn't. And I totally forgot that this was the 3rd race of the playoffs, which happens when you're in multiple leagues. But you got to keep an eye on that 77. If that one continues to fall, it's only a 5-point difference between those two for your points lead. And this is not a playoff style. This is old school point standings, what they're doing. Reset the top 12 and let them duel it out for the chase.
Which means someone in this field is going to go full Jimmy Johnson and just dial it up to 11 and be absolutely perfect in every single race and end up winning the chip.
Yeah, well, it's only 5 points right now.
That's how you win in a chase style. Or maybe it'll be like 2011. It'll come down to a tiebreaker. We saw it back in 2011 with Stewart and Edwards.
We did.
And Stewart was on another one. He wasn't even that good in 2011, but once the playoffs, or the chase started, he came out of the tunnel bashing through walls and basically was winning half the races and just gave himself new life and basically ended up winning the title.
I was going to say, look at what he did when he wasn't in the championship in the 20 car. He just missed out on it, and he went on to win the first, 4 of the 7 races that they ran?
Right.
Not even a chase driver. He was just playing spoiler the whole damn time.
Yeah, you're not in the playoffs, or chase. God damn it. I'm too conditioned by current NASCAR terms, and I grew up with the chase, so I should know better. But yeah, like, if you're not in the chase, might as well make it fun for yourself. Spoil it for the rest of those guys. Screw them. And that's what Stewart did. That's what a lot of guys did.
Yeah. And Talladega right now might lead to another lead swap between the 1 and the 77. As they get squirrely in behind them, the 1 hoping to not get taken out of this one. As Jacob is a tough nut to keep up with, and we got a multitude of tracks coming up with Darlington, Texas, Gateway, and rounding it out in Vegas. So a tricky next couple of weeks, and this one really playing spoiler, damn near smack dab in the middle of the chase. Well, Aussie Rules could definitely benefit from getting the win today. is right now he is third in the point standings, but he is 28 points off your race leader, or off of your points leader of Jet Blast.
Oh, they're making
So
some
win would be
moves at the back of
huge.
the line, getting a little squirrely back there. But this move is going to come within the top 5. Jacob is way too wedged up on the 19's rear bumper. So that's going to be really difficult for him to make a move. Does the 99 do something? Does D'Artagnan play spoiler in that 14 car? Ooh, the 19 barely cracks the door open. The 77 tried to do it for him. Wallbridge, this is going to be it for stage 2. Who's it going to be?
It might be the 19! And it is. Aussie Rule is your stage 1 win, or stage 2 winner, my bad, with Jacob in second position. Nash Carrillo in third. D'Artagnan fourth. His best stage finish in a minute. And CCR also best stage finish, rounding out in the top 5. Zach in 6th. Rhinov 7th. Amar 8th. Rage to Overcome finishes inside the top 10 in 9th, and Jet Blast rounding out the top 10. So already right there, that is 8 points. So that already, if it was just that one run, that already knocks Jet Blast out of your points lead. So this next stage could be an aggressive one by the number 1. And look at this, Nash Carrillo doesn't have to work his way through the field. This could be dangerous for the rest of the field, as he will lead it to green on the inside, and Jacob up top in the 77. Green flag is out, and the outside line this time does feel like hitting the right pedal. So that way they can keep up with the bottom. Oh, the 20 GCR gets a little bit squirrely there. Contact again out of 2 with the 77. Excuse me, but
We had the deck shuffled on that pit stop with the leader 99 up 2 spots, CCR up 2 spots, the 19 -6 on that pit stop. Which is why you see him third car on the outside and going to be losing even more if he continues to be stuck back there.
Oh, man, what a save.
Look at the 21 car, Rage to Overcome. Forcing it through the middle with that run. Nearly disrupting that pack.
And Jet Blast through. Oh, he tried to clear himself. He's still trying to clear himself.
The one's in trouble. They got
Oh,
some
the
lag.
77.
We might have another yellow. The one car might be it.
Oh, the one lagged.
That's not one you normally see.
And they're going to call a yellow probably at the line.
Well, might as well get the spots while you can. CCR up at a second. Zach in 6. P3. Rage
Oh,
to
the
overcome.
48 below the yellow.
Rage to overcome. Trying to play
Here goes
spoiler.
it.
But he's going to get spoiled by the 34. This is the race to the caution. And the 21's going to bleed a ton of spots. The 5 car from the top rope.
And they do throw the yellow.
This is going to be a race of attrition. That has been the 3rd car to get the nod from race control for lag. And it's one you wouldn't really expect. Now, I haven't really been keeping up with all the races, but like I've seen the usual suspects with internet connection issues been bopped for it, like the 34, the 17. The 17 had it at Bristol. I remember the 34 had it plenty of times at Martinsville. Haven't seen it from the 1, though. This team's usually been pretty sturdy with that sort of thing, but looks like they got the nod for it, and they're going to be the ones to drop at the back of the line. So very tough race.
I just love listening to the 77. He just like, yeah, my car does not look happy. I'm like, that's a way to describe it right there.
Well, let's get a camera on the 77 and see if we can confirm that for
Without
ourselves.
without saying foobard. But it's actually not that bad. I don't know why he was saying it.
I want to say,
The
with him
one
driving,
car looks all right. The damage that he was showing on his display looks all right.
I say his car saying it doesn't look too happy, but he is in a Camaro, and those front grills on those Camaros usually make it look like they're smiling. So I'm not one to be able to make that call. It does look like it has a little bit of damage, but for him it's only going to be 1 second worth, so it's not going to be a big deal. And the race off pit road is underway. The 19 and the 5 will be the first two out.
And Nascarillo will have to work his way back up through as he went and grabbed tires. So half the field took fuel and half the field took tires. I mean, we also saw at the end of stage one when they had that weird green flag run that those tires were just about done before the stage was over. And Ozzy will take over the race leader, and the one, Jet Blast, who brought out that most recent caution, will drop it to the back as he's got the rhino horn going on his hood. So doesn't a lot of these drivers. Oh my. Now we're doing the lane choice. Who wants to go where? The 77 obviously is going to jump to the outside.
I've lost engine noise again. I love this game.
Yeah, you gotta go out to that weird camera view. The trail, not the trail. One that bounces around between multiple camera angles. That'll bring it back. And here we go into the Geico restart zone. Green flag is back out. And man, that outside, oh wow, there is nobody behind the 77. Yike, dude. They were all just quick to get to the bottom. That is going to kill Jacob.
Better hurry, get back in line. He sees an opening.
Oh, just barely. By the skin of his shaft, he made it into that one. Oh, and the 21 going to get shuffled out. Barely, but the 77 lets him back in. The 17 goes back. God, big checkup up at the front. John Water had to take evasive maneuvers and get out of line. That's going to drop him to the tail end of what is this lead pack. Now, as it turns out, I have to step out of the booth for a second, so I'll let Timmy take over.
Alright, it's my turn.
Yeah, baby.
Single file leading the train is the number 19 Aussie Rules with Amar and the number 5 in second. Reinov in the 34, our most recent winner at Dover, and our pole sitter tonight in P3. And they got Nascarillo with 2 wins on the docket in P4. Rage to overcome, looking to get a top 5 run tonight. He's got it so far, with Jacob giving him a big shot down into the trial. That 77 car right behind him in 6th. Looks like Zach in 6th, then CCR. And John Waterforce back on the lead lap, or at least still on the lead lap after losing the draft in stage 2, trying to make the most of it while he can. Then you got the 14 of D'Artagnan, who was 4th in Stage 2, got a lot of points for it. Now finds himself at the back of the line. Or maybe not for long, as the 48 now finds himself as the outlier. This line doesn't look a whole lot of steadiness. We're not really seeing a whole lot of that here, at least in the second half. It's very difficult. Very difficult to remain steady. These cars are always on edge. The drivers are always on edge. They're zigzagging all over the place. There's a very small margin of error trying to hold a steady line when you're surrounded by a bunch of other cars trying to do the exact same thing. 20 car CCR probably looking out his back door, or at least in his case, his back window. The 17 car looking to give him a big push. Does he go with the 77? He was a little late to decide, a little hesitant. And if he went with the 77, that would have brought the 17 and the 48. We could have got that second lane going. But he opted out on it, and the 77 has nobody to bring with him to the dance, as he's going to be left out at the front door, or at least at the back door. Drops back in line in front of the 14. We're right on board with the 14 car. We get a whole shot of the entire line and what he's able to see. Gives himself a little bit of distance between him and the 77, just enough to save some fuel, just enough to stay out of whatever explosion that may randomly occur in front of him. So that'll give him enough time to weigh his options. And here comes the run. There's the checkup. And even another one in the 3. Nobody wants to be at the back of the line, and honestly, being the last car in line does have its benefits, as the 14 is displaying at the moment. Now onto the 34. Reinov's got some distance between him and NASCAR-Rillo. And looking at the weather forecast tonight, there's been a lot of scattered showers passing by on the racetrack. Not enough to really disrupt the entire race, but just enough to bring a couple of cautions out in between. First it was the 34, then it was the 17, and then it was the 1 of Jet Blast. He now finds himself well out of the pack with the 9 of Slick Nick, trying his best to work with him. And if he doesn't get a caution, that might be night over for the 1 car. Oh, the 17, the 48, both cars hard in the wall.
Oh boy, what a thing to come back to.
Cautions out.
Wow, and we come back to a yellow. Nice.
Really? From that?
Yeah, that was insane. That brought out the yellow.
I mean, they both hit the wall. The 1748, I don't know what happened, but it looked like they kind of crossed paths in the 3. Both cars washed up, tank slapped the outside wall simultaneously, but both cars were able to keep it straight, at least from where I was looking. But surprisingly, that was a caution. Not even iRacing would call that a caution.
Oh my god, dude. The 17 lagged on the bottom, and he just took Zach to the cleaner.
Oh, that's probably what it was then. Because that's not even a manual yellow. Ooh! I'm looking on board from Jacob. He was, oh yeah, oh, Zach got killed. Holy shit. Someone call his parents. Anyway, we're back to green.
And Jacob is losing it. He's loving it. But we're back green now. Couple of laps gone through. We're under 20 laps to go here in this one to decide the winner.
I'm sure Zach's probably
Aussie Rule is hoping it's him.
Oh, the 1. Jet Blast's connection issues haven't been resolved entirely yet. I just saw his car jump up and down out of 2. He's already at the back of the line.
They're still giggling. It's funny. This is why I have the race chat on in the background.
17 gonna gain a ton of spots here. I'm actually curious to see where the 9 car restarted, because he was back there with the 1. So he must have gained a few spots on that restart. But that's moved John Waterforce, probably the biggest mover in just 1 lap. He was at the back of the line. Now he finds himself in P6. Right behind the 45 of Daytona, who's cracked the top 5 again.
Yeah, Nascarillo is doing the same thing in that 99. He was 4 cars back and then saw that his line was dying, jumped to the bottom, and drove up 4 positions in 1 corner. And a little bit of the dog, and a little bit of the tri-oval. But, I mean, he's now right behind the 17, so maybe these two can put these 2 speedy cars together and work their way up to the front.
Tell you, if this thing goes green to the finish, these guys are right on the money regarding fuel. And usually when it comes to the fuel gauges in these cars, they're not really the most accurate. At least with the old Gen 6 car that we used to race on here back in the day, you had a pretty good idea of how much fuel you were really going to get in those cars, because whatever it said, you were very likely going to get. The next gen cars' fuel gauges fluctuate a lot more, so if it says about 17 or 16 to fuel, it's probably going to be 14 if you're hard on the attack the whole way through. So try not to be deceived by the fuel gauge, because right now these guys they're on the money, but it's very close. These guys
very close.
It's very close. They might be running out on the straightaway if they're not careful, and some of them might have to pit a lap sooner. I have no idea. This could be very interesting.
Especially if you're the 19 of Ozzy,
Or the 99.
you don't have anybody in front of you.
99.
99 was behind has been behind some cars for about 4 laps, so maybe
He might think he's on the number. I don't know. Maybe something to keep an eye on. The 77 he's got 15 laps of fuel. His oil temperature is about 10 degrees cooler than what it's been running most of the race. It was up over 250. Now it's down to 241, so he's running that thing a little cooler right now, just kind of riding at half throttle, staying in the draft of the 21. And we have 15 to go, crossing the line, and his fuel numbers probably go down to 14. So right now, as it stands, they're not going to make it.
Yeah, he says he's about 3/4 of a lap short of fuel.
Now, who's in the perfect position for this? Like the guys at the very back.
That is true, but let's not forget who sits in the 2nd position and will be drafting this whole time. That is last week's winner, the 34 of Reinov. His situations have been resolved, and that car has been steadily working its way back up to the front. And here he is, sitting right in the catbird seat in a track best suited for it, as the laps tick down to 14 remaining.
Yeah, his fuel's not looking too great either. Like we said, he's out in front. He's burning more fuel than the guys behind him. He's got to stretch another quarter to half lap. And here comes the 99 NASCARilla with already 2 wins on the docket, looking to go for win number 3. And here comes Slick Dick Nick in the 9, who has spent most of this race out of the draft. Could be playing spoiler in the closing laps. And yet that is second
and he
place.
tried to go to the bottom to get underneath it, Rillo. But Rillo shuts the door.
And the 19 didn't feel comfortable being behind him, so he moves out of line. That's going to put the 34 up into the podium places in P3.
That doesn't help Ozzy at all, as he was leading and now will drop outside of the top 5 and have to work that 19 back to the front once he hits a good fuel number.
It's going to be hard for Aussie to do that if he's leading another line of cars that's now it's kind of just dissolved into just him and the 5. But Now the 99, who was kind of doing much of the same the last couple of laps, leading the top, now leads entirely on the bottom with the 9 car right behind him. But again, the cars that spend the most amount of time in the draft, not having to put that thing at 100% throttle, they might have enough to make it. And again, the 77's in a comfortable spot right now because he hasn't really needed to attack. He's in a good enough spot. He's close enough to the front to where if he does have enough fuel, he'll be the first one there. As for the guys at the back, they're giving themselves a little extra insurance, but if the cars in front of them are able to save enough as they do, or save as much as they do, they're going to have to put in a little more work to get back up to them. But, yeah, looking at the 19 car, Aussie Rules, our Daytona winner, was looking to sweep the super speedways this year. Finds himself second to last in line with the 5, and he is having to go aggressive on fuel saving to make up for all the fuel that he just burnt away leading this race.
Oh, we got drivers that are saying that they were one to the good and now dead even to make it. So chances and odds. It's a game of chicken for a win at Talladega between the driver and their gas tank.
Gotta watch the fuel gauge.
Yeah.
Jacob might be in the clear. He needed to save about a third of a lap, and I think he's done that. But don't get too excited, because if you start to attack now, all that fuel that you might save...
Oh, here we go. Rillo jumps out of the race lead. He's going to swap with the 9, and that will allow him to save the fuel. Slick and Nick to the race lead, so he's going to get to lead some laps here at the fastest track on the NASCAR circuit.
Checking in with the 19. Across the line, 9 to go. He's got 9 left. We'll see if it switches to 8, or when it switches to 8 on this lap. That'll give us an idea of when he runs out. Or it hit 8 in the middle, 1 and 2. The 19's not out of the clear yet. He still needs to save another 2/3 of a lap to make it. I'm hoping these guys can hit their numbers relatively soon, so that way they can all make it. That way they can actually race it out.
Well, Jacob feels like he can. He's going to jump it out to the outside with Daytona. He was asking him if he felt like he was going to be good. And now he's going to go full throttle. And you see the difference.
He's a lap to the good. He can make it. Dropped his fuel temp all the way down to 237. Now it's up to 239.
Oh, and Rillo going to let him in. Oh, the 21 tried to clear himself. And,
21 car.
Excuse me, that never usually ends well.
With John Waterforce and Zach in 6, following Rage to overcome. The Motorcraft car looking to go to the lead here. Can Slick Nick make it? This is really the only laps I think he's been able to have at the front. He had the fuel issue in stage 1. He didn't pit for fuel and had to spend the entire second stage trying to get his lap back. And it's been a long hill climb to get back to where he was. Now he's finally credited in the books for leading a lap. They're 3 wide behind him, and there was a ton of contact being made. Jacob gonna shuffle the 9 out. The 21 a race to overcome a sitting duck. They're gonna have all the momentum in the world. Does he do anything to counter it?
And Rillo, being the class act he is, sees the 9 losing spots. He allows him back into the line. And now Rage to Overcome leads it in the closing laps. However, if you talk to anybody that's run at Talladega, they always say they want to be in the lead during the race. But when it comes to the end, that's the last place they want to be.
And look at the separation they're getting. Jacob, Daytona, all that room between them and the 9, the 17 car out of line. John Waterforce, and we're going to get a pass for the lead. Jacob and Daytona pouncing on the 21. We documented the 77's fuel situation. He thinks he can make it. The 45 might agree. They're going to leapfrog the 21. And meanwhile, John Waterforce got around the 9, moves him up into 4th place. He might think he can make it, but he needs to get up there to the top 3 and quick. Because look at the distance they got. We're riding on board with the 17 car. Knows how to win at Talladega. He won the Mystic race here a couple of months ago. It was his first win in that league. And look at the distance he's getting. Oh my God, he is a sitting duck. I've been saying that sentence more in the last 3 laps than I have all night. Sitting duck is...
Well, look at this, though. The 34, 48, and the 1 are coming momentum to his aid.
And Jet
so
Blast.
More cars are being able to make it to the good. And it looks like everybody else is tired of waiting, too, as those top 3 are getting farther and farther away from the rest of this field, and everybody wants to be a part of the closing laps. As we're coming now to, I believe, 4 laps to go as they cross the line. They have to make up a 1.3 second deficit, and they are. If they can hold themselves together, that is going to help. That's going to slow down those top 3.
Daytona and 21, a race to overcome. In an arm wrestle match to see who gets 2nd place.
Look at Waterforce. He's coming in with a head of steam. And that will carry him alongside the 77, but the corner equals out the speed just a bit. It is 3 on 3, though. Waterforce not clear. 3 laps to go. Now he is to the bottom. He wasn't able to get it done at Daytona. He now leads with 3 laps to go, the 17 of John Waterforce. And look who also sits up at the top, the 34 of Rynob, last week's winner.
He's looking to go back-to-back. Can he do it?
Now, not when the 21's going to the bottom. That's going to completely ruin that outside line. And it looks like the 9 is well and gone. He is to the back of this lead pack. And the 48 is second, 6! Saves it.
Gets tail whipped.
Everybody checks up behind him, 2 to go. Everybody, oh, here goes Daytona to the outside.
Oh, the 21 didn't.
Nobody goes with them. The 48 does. So doesn't the 34. That's the 3v3. They need 1 more in order to make it a real competitive move. And Rillo looks at it. He's staying to the bottom. He's like, if these guys stay up high long enough, I could get a lot of passes made. And he's trying as we're coming to the white flag. 1 lap to go when they cross the line. Rillo not being able to get him. The outside line starting to have a couple of cars. But the leader, the 17, what is the 77 of Jacob going to do? And what is the 17 going to do when the 77 makes his move? He can't make a move now with the 21 blocking his outside. He can't go anywhere. And now the 48 coming in with a head of steam, sandwiches the 21. 2 by 2 behind him for third. Contact made, the 48. Out of Lima saves it. No one there to help. Daytona jumps out. Through the tri-oval, John Waterforce has been up and down all day. There will be no challenge. It will just be the 17 crossing the line and winning at Talladega. Wow. Jacob finishing in second, Daytona third, Aussie Rules fourth, Rage to Overcome rounding out your top 5. Jet Blast 6th, Amar 7th, Rhino the 8th, Nascarillo 9th, and D'Artagnan rounding out the top 10. That was one of the more enjoyable races I've seen from Talladega in a minute.
And kudos to all those guys keeping it, for the most part, very clean on the last lap. Usually you see a big explosion coming to the finish line. And everyone was able to finish under a blanket. And the 45 moving to the outside kept the 77 car boxed in. That kind of limited his options, and that's exactly what John Waterforce needed to make his defensive attack a lot easier. Just looking out the mirrors, all he needed to do. He does a little victory slide into the turn 1 barrier as we fade to black, and we're going to see who got the fastest lap. You're probably going to find out before I do, because I'm on a slow-ass PS4.
And the fastest lap went to Zach N6 in the 48.
49.471.
All right, who the hell was the top 3 again? I know John
John,
won.
Jacob, and Daytona.
Is anybody showing up online? No. We're just gonna invite the top 3.
I'm already in here.
We got Jacob and Victor.
Oh!
Y'all both joined at the
I'm
exact
back.
same
How
time.
did you get here?
He joined right as John joined.
I didn't need an invite because I saw the lobby was open. So.
We're good. Now I can go over to the
Daytona
Phantom.
guys, or just
He's been invited.
Oh, we must send it at the same time then. You win, John.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, once
All
you was
right,
in front of me, I was just gonna stay there.
So, Timmy, you want to do the usual? You do third, second, I do win?
Yeah, we can do that. And we just got him in here. We are ready to get started with our post-race coverage live from Talladega. And very excited to talk to this guy, Daytona, getting a podium
You'll have
at
to give him a second,
Talladega,
Timmy.
the other
He's
super
loading.
speedway, as opposed to your username. Do you got a copy, my friend?
Yeah,
Pretty
you
good.
have to give him, there you go. He should be good now, Timmy.
All right, Daytona. Congratulations on getting a podium here. Pretty strong effort from you. A lot of jostling around amongst the whole pack going on there. It looked like fuel was going to be a concern in that final stage. There was a lot of riding around, everyone trying to match their number to make sure they could make it to the end. Was that something you were looking out for too? And if so, when did you realize you were good to go? Absolutely, and that's the thing with races like Talladega. That's kind of an opportunity race to, if your season isn't going the way that you feel like
Hey,
it is.
hey, hey,
Whoa,
guys, guys.
oh God, my ears.
Oh, sorry. Daytona, I cannot hear you through the stream. Did I turn my volume up? I'm like, did I mute my phone? I'm like, oh
You turned
no.
your volume up all right, Jesus Christ. It's all good though. We get that sorted out. Was he super quiet or was he not going through it all? Chip. Yeah, I'm able to hear you. I just don't know if you got your share settings turned on or not. I'm unable to check right now.
Yeah, no, I couldn't hear him at all.
Okay. Well, either way, so like, yeah, just congratulating you on a podium finish. Able to turn your season around with this race. Congratulations. I hear myself. That's funny.
Oh, that's me. Sorry.
All right, let's get to our. Let me get the correct car because he's in the Ziegler car this week. Jacob in the 77, P2 this week. Another strong finish from you, just one shy of the top step, but nonetheless, I was keeping an eye on your stream, and I could tell you were riding it out with the fuel and making sure you were able to make it. And yeah, just walk me through that last stage, or walk me through your whole race in general. How it went when you
So
realized you were able to make it.
the strategy was literally just finish ahead of the one car. That was literally the strategy. I wasn't concerned with trying to. If I won, great. If I didn't, it was fine as long as the one car was behind me. After last week, I tried to make a strategy call. Ended up getting put basically 2 laps down and ended up losing, 5 points, possibly even the win at Dover last week. I knew tonight I couldn't make any mistakes, and I had to stay out in front of the one car to make sure that I gained as many points on him back from Dover as possible. I entered the night 5 back, so I at least knew the stages were going to be crucial. So I tried to make sure I was ahead of everybody. I know a couple of guys were getting upset because there was people that weren't trying to pass anybody, but my main goal was literally just to stay ahead of as many cars as possible to gain as many points back from last week as I could. There at the end, it did come down to fuel. We all ended up we got a caution with about I want to say 22-ish to go, and of course you get like 19 laps of fuel to a tank here, and usually you end up burning one because you running full throttle. They're not really ever off the gas, but as soon as we restarted, we had exactly the amount of laps the fuel we had, and we had to just kind of coast around to save a little bit because I was about half a lap short at the start of the stage, so I was riding around, and then the outside line kind of got going with Rillo in the 9 car, and I wasn't sure if they could make it at the time, so as soon as they kind of came over the comms and was like they probably weren't going to make it, that's when me and Daytona made the move to get past them to try to at least be in the lead. And then there was one point, I'm not sure who was watching what stream at what time, but there was a point where it was me, Daytona, and the 21 of Rage that was out front. And then they were the whole pack was like about a second and a half or so behind us. I was trying to stay up as fast as possible, but then they all started getting into a single file line. And Rage just got to the outside of Daytona, so I kind of slowed down trying to keep them 2 wide, so when everybody had showed up, they had to go 3 wide to get around us. and a couple of cars got around us. I think John was the only one that actually got in front of me. And then from that point on, as I said, the goal was just to finish as high as I could, get as many points as possible. So I just stayed behind John because I felt like if I tried to make a move there at the end, I would have ended up losing 2 or 3, possibly even more spots trying to make a move for the win rather than take the free point, the guaranteed second place. So.
Yeah, and seeing that that was the goal, was to finish ahead of the one, and seeing that the one car was dealing with his own problems, kind of spending a lot of the
Yeah,
tail end of the race at the back of the pack.
it was unfortunate that his lag it kept persisting. I think it was just we sat in the lobby a little bit for about I'd probably say about a good 35 minutes or so before we got into the race. I think that kind of had something to do with it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he was one of the victims that it just never really went away to where he could race. But there at the end, he ended up coming back and getting a 6th place finish, so he mitigated the damage the best he could.
That's right, he did. That was actually what I was about to ask next, was the stability of the lobby. It seemed like it was a constant problem for not just the one car, but also for a couple other guys.
Mm-mm.
So, like, even though you were ahead of the one for much of that last stage, nothing was really set in stone, because nothing ever is at Talladega. So, like, the issues that the 34 had at the start, or even the 17, a couple other guys had lag issues. Was that kind of...
Mm-hmm.
Because it's really difficult to kind of deal with that when you're trying to ride in the pack, when stuff like that can happen at any moment.
Yeah, I mean, in scenarios like that, it's definitely really hard to race around. I mean, there towards the end, if you're trying to save a little bit of gas, you can kind of get a little bit more, space in between you and the possible guy that's lagging. So it's manageable, but then, like, if you try to, at some point you're going to have to go and try to push him or, maybe get a push to go around him, it's kind of hard to make any kind of move because you don't really know where he's at.
Exactly. Well, nonetheless, mission accomplished for you, and I'm sure that's definitely going to shake up the points heading into next week. So we'll let you go. Here's anyone you want to shout out before we let you go?
Yeah, just want to shout out the Spire Motorsports cars. They were getting bashed by Zag during the race about how slow they were going to be on pit lane, and I don't think I lost a spot on pit road all night. So shout out to the crew. Shout out to Zeigler Auto Groups for sponsoring the car tonight here at Talladega, and shout out to Daytona for going with me and staying with me there for towards the end, and then shout out to John. Good job for him winning the race tonight, and just a shout out to the booth. Thanks for coming out and commentating for us tonight.
And much appreciated, and appreciate the time of you here for second place finish interview. Congratulations on that, and I'm gonna pass things on to Walbert so he can interview our race winner, and I gotta go race like a piss horse. I'll be back.
Hey, thank you.
Wait, you gotta go race like a piss horse? What the hell?
I will say sorry that my interview got cut.
Ah, okay, I gotcha. That's all good. But that will move us
Thanks,
on,
Robert.
though, now
Have a good
that...
night, man.
Yeah, you too, brother. And that will... now that Timmy's gone to piss like a racehorse, he will get us to our race winner, the number 17 of John Waterforce.
What's going on, man?
What's going on, buddy? Well, I heard you let out a little woohoo when you crossed the line. That was pretty cute. But, I mean, good win on you. I mean, you took the lead, though, pretty late in the going, or pretty early in the going, I will say, with about 5 to go. Were you just sitting back waiting and anticipating for that move to be made? Or did you think you were pretty well good to go?
No, I thought I was fine. I wasn't really concerned. Because the outside was not really successful in this race in particular, and I wasn't really concerned about them passing me in the 77 and the 45.
Yeah, because you had a pretty eventful day, we'll say. You had your little connection issues, we'll go with, that ended up having to force you to the back. I mean, we legitimately saw you hug a guy into the wall, is how I'm going to phrase it, because that was pretty funny to watch off of Jacob's nose, really. I mean, literally, you had to work your way back up through the field. How difficult is that to do, given that this track is, as hard as it is to believe, one that is hard to pass on?
Yeah, it was very tough. Um, I didn't think I was in any contention to win, but uh, the it just lined up, you know, with the, we had to save fuel, and I was in traffic, so I said, well, I'll just I'll just save fuel and and at least be there at the end to have a good finish. And I don't know, it was probably about 8 laps to go. I was already good, so I was just riding there, and we're running like 170, and I'm like, crap, I need to go. And that's when the 3-car breakaway happened with the 21, the 21, the 45, and the 77. They took off, and I asked somebody, because I was a little bit further ahead of everybody else from fifth on back, and I'm like, is anybody going to come up here and push me? And that's when the 34 and the 48 and I think the 9 finally got going, and I'm like, all right, now I think I can do this now, because 4 or 5 cars with momentum, it's gonna be hard to stop them. So that was pretty crazy considering how the race went.
Yeah, and I know you said making a pass on the outside is pretty difficult to do, but you made it work pretty well. When you were out in that little breakaway that you had with about 6 to go, and it was literally 3 cars, you, then a mile away was the rest of the field, were you a little nervous that by the time they did get to you, when they were to the good, that you were even going to have enough time to get to the leaders?
Not really. I wasn't too concerned about it. I knew there was plenty of cars back there that had been saving. They just needed to get around the guys that were saving still, and we had numbers. So, and I think the 45 and the 21 were side by side, so that was just going to play into my favor. So I wasn't really too concerned on that.
Yeah, and I know this is the points day that you needed today, and I know that the schedule coming up is pretty damn scary with Darlington next. Is there is Darlington a track that you feel like you can replicate this performance? Because you've had strong runs this season on almost every occasion, but I know Darlington is everybody's little dark horse that they don't like talking about. Is Darlington one where you think you can replicate a good finish to help you out in the chase standings?
Well, it's my home track, and it's my favorite track. I love Darlington. I think I can at least run top 3 at Darlington if everything goes well, but you never know what's going to happen. But um, I love Darlington. I love Gateway. That's up in a couple weeks, I think, 2 or 3 weeks. We'll be going to Gateway. I love Gateway, and yeah, but Darlington's is a fun track. I've won some races there. I've won quite a few, and it's always special because I go to that track every year for the Southern 500. And, being able to get on this video game and win there too. That's it's always good, and it's a good track for me.
All right. Well, hey, we look forward to your performance next week at Darlington, but we want to congratulate you on a hell of a performance today and getting a much-deserved win on top of it. And we will see you next week, brother.
Yeah, I do want to shout out the 34 for pushing me. I know I left him out to dry, but I was just trying to go for a win. I want to shout him out. He did a great job pushing me. Him in the 48. And I want to shout out this league. I mean, we've done really good considering we're on a 5-year-old game. This is a really great league, and glad that we're able to do this. And I appreciate you guys commentating for us. It's really great.
It is our pleasure, brother. And with that, that should do it for us here tonight at Talladega. One hell of a finish we got to see that ended with the man John Waterforce taking the Talladega crown and trophy home with him. And Timmy, you got anything to round this one off?
Exalt the paint's good and woo NASCAR. I don't know. No, that was a great race, and I kind of called my shot earlier in the broadcast, shouting out John's win over in the Mystic Racing League on iRacing, because he got a win there at Talladega. So I
I
thought,
forgot you did that.
I'm like, if he won that race, I can see him winning this one too. And you know what, John, you're welcome. He won that one too.
Yeah, man. I like Talladega now.
I bet you do. And who wouldn't after getting a couple of wins here? But nonetheless, another great race, another great broadcast. And shout out to this game for somehow being still alive. I don't know how it's not dead yet.
True.
Very true.
I was gonna say, Bob, you're in control of the button, buddy, so you
I
can close
am.
us out.
This has been Timmy and Walbridge from the Phantom Racing League YouTube channel. Hopefully we'll be back with our regular scheduled programming next week for Darlington, so stay tuned for that over on the North American Racing Series YouTube channel. Go subscribe to that channel if you aren't already for some stupid reason. Otherwise, I'm going to show up to your house and ask politely that you do, because it'll be very much appreciated. So go subscribe to them. This is where that league is broadcasted regularly every Friday. And also subscribe to this one if we somehow randomly decide to come back, like nights like tonight or like Bristol a couple weeks ago. So we're always here as a safety net just in case. And that'll be it from us here. I'm about to hit the sign out button, and we'll catch y'all next week. Take care.